TVM Capital Life Science is a leading international VC focused on investing in life science innovations, and you were part of the first dedicated life science venture capital firm in Germany. Can you tell us a little bit about what differentiates you?
Yeah, TVM is one of the longest standing venture capital firms in Europe. Next year we are celebrating 40 years of existence. So with some of my partners we represent the third generation of owners of the firm, and obviously some of us have been with the firm for more than 20 years already. So there's a long history that we personally have with the firm already, and we'll intend to take this into the future even further. What differentiates us, apart from having a long-standing history, which may not always be the only thing that is relevant, is, for instance, that we have created some hallmark companies in the field with our Series A and Series B investments. So if you look at Germany alone, for instance, some of today's household names were companies that we started in the early days. Take Morphosis, take QIAGEN, take Biotech, and take a few others that would not have existed without the first Deutschmarks or Euros that came from us, either from us as the current team or some of our predecessors. What also differentiates us is what I believe a very unique investment strategy that we're implementing, which is basically a two-pronged approach. So we're investing, according to our long history, still in the early stage, meaning we're investing in early stage preclinical molecule companies that we create as virtual companies, single asset companies that have a virtual management, have a relationship with Chorus, which is Lilly's in-house clinical research organization, to develop the asset from a preclinical stage of development with our money to a first real proof of concept in man, which we call a phase 2A. And these companies are mostly financed with our money, but also financed with our money and other people's money, and are designed to be sold back to pharma at proof of concept stage once we have shown that a molecule is safe and it works actually in the patient population that it is intended for. That is the investment strategy number one element. And then the investment strategy number two element is that we continue to do later stage co-investments with our peers in the venture capital community, companies that are active either in biopharma, this is our home turf, or in diagnostics or in medtech. And most of these companies are close to market or already on the market with a product, and our money is helping either to get approval to get to market or to launch these projects or these molecule products on the market. So this way we continue to syndicate with our peers, very classic venture capital approach. And we have obviously in the current environment a very exciting deal flow of companies that come to us because we are moving more and more to a more growth stage capital approach than a venture capital approach.
TVM is a long-standing supporter of BioEurope. How have you seen the conference evolve over the years?
Yeah, TVM has been a long-term supporter of BioEurope, a long-term participant, and I have to say a huge fan of the conference for more than 20 years. So I've been to BioEurope for the first time in 2001. So it's a long time ago, and I think I've been more than 20 times at BioEurope and participating at BioEurope events, panels, and also obviously having met a lot of companies that were looking for capital during BioEurope. What makes BioEurope very special is the initial focus on Germany. And then in the early days, it was basically a touring event around the big cities in Germany. But obviously then later on, they spread out a bit. Next year, we'll celebrate another anniversary in Stockholm. And they have been to Copenhagen, they have been to other places in Europe, which is very important. And not to forget, obviously, BioEurope Spring, which is the little sister of BioEurope Main in November. That happens all around Europe, in Barcelona and in many other places. What makes our relationship with BioEurope special is the desire to help build an industry. Yeah, and what the BioEurope team does very well, where I give them a lot of credit, is they bring together relentlessly the different constituencies to form an industry, investors, the farm industry, the biotech industry, academics, and anybody who can contribute to building an industry. And that makes it very special and a unique place to be. So I will not miss any BioEurope coming up as long as I can.
And for you, is it especially important as it's taking place in Munich this year?
Well, it's always great to have BioEurope back in our town. I think it's the third or fourth time since I've been with TVM. I've been with TVM since 2000, that it's in Munich. Obviously, what is great to a certain extent is Munich is a hub for biotech in Europe. We have had some great success stories in Munich and in Bavaria. It is a great showcase of what we do here in the region, but at the same time, it's a very accessible place. People love to come to Munich. Obviously, I like to take people out to my favorite bars after the meetings, and we have a lot of offsite meetings in restaurants and coffee places that make this a very nice event for us.
So speaking of the event, is there anything in particular planned for TVM at this year's BioEurope? Any special initiatives?
There's always special initiatives, and thanks to the BioEurope organizing team who let me organize a lot within the calendar, we have two important panels that we are staging from our partners. So one is done by my partner Stefan Fischer, who is doing a panel with limited partners, so people that invest in venture capital funds, to explain to the biotech CEOs and community what dynamic is going on for those who actually give money to the companies, how to raise money for themselves, and who are the people behind the money. So I think it's a very important element for people to understand, to my earlier point, how the industry functions, right? What is the food chain in the capital flow? I will be part of a panel that describes the Munich ecosystem. Who are the players here? Obviously, this is a town of science. We have an enormous amount of Nobel Prize winners within medicine, chemistry, and biology. And at the same time, we have fantastic institutes here like the Max Planck and others that contribute to science a lot. Another highlight of the party will be the BioEurope Chill Out event that TVM is co-sponsoring with Forbion, MCS Services, and Evotech. The important element of this is that it brings together many people attending the conference in a very casual fashion. So it's not a seated dinner where you get stuck with a group of people for the entire evening. It's a really fantastic way to mingle, have a drink, have a conversation. Some people are dancing, we have a DJ. And normally we have to kick out people at 2 a.m. in the morning because otherwise the next day at the conference will be wasted. So it's a wonderful event to also continue our role in the ecosystem, to be a part of the networking catalysts.
We've heard a lot about BioEurope and also about your special initiatives. So what are you personally most looking forward to at this event, or maybe also future events?
What I'm mostly looking forward to again this year, that we finally came out of the pandemic. That means that people are meeting freely again. There's no limitations. There's a significant amount of attendees. I think this year we're going to have about 6,000 people attending, which is massive. Last year at the Leipzig meeting, we saw probably half of that, simply because people were just not ready to travel or to get together as they did before the pandemic. That is very important. So I'm looking forward to all the people I haven't seen for a long time, seeing again live. The other things, two things that I'm really looking forward is and learning about afterwards is I want to see financings done after BioEurope, and I want to see deals done after BioEurope, because that is the essence of the conference, right? Is to bring people together, make sure we connect those who are looking for money with those who have money. And many times I make an effort to find out what actually happened with those meetings that you guys had, and to actually come something out of it. And then the other element is really the deal-making part. The last BioEuropes also, partly because of pandemic, were suffering from a limited amount of attendance from pharma. Now this year it's completely different. There's a lot of pharma representation again. And I'm looking forward to licensing deals and reading about M&As, maybe contacts that were made in Munich, led to an acquisition. So hopefully there's a lot of happy news coming out of this meeting in the spring.